Good morning, lifters. How are we going? This is number 3, our third one in the series. Hopefully you're getting into those other 2 that I've put out, and now you're up to number 3 looking for some more work. That's what we want, more work, right? So what we're doing is, as you already know because you've watched the other ones, is we're trying to do one exercise that will do any of the 3 different things that any person wants to go to a gym or work out at home or in their office or wherever they're working out to do, and that is purely weight loss. So if you had a broom and you're sweeping the floor, then if all you wanted to do was lose weight, then you would have to sweep a lot of floor, correct? You would just have to sweep and sweep and sweep. Chickens aren't going to know what's going on, somebody else scratching in that thing. If I wanted to lose, I don't know, 3 kilograms, 6 pounds in a week, I would probably have to spend at least 3 or 4 hours a day on a broom over a 7-day period, and maybe I'd come close to it if I didn't change my diet. So it's a lot of work if all you want to do is lose weight and not put on muscle. And there are people like that because they have a modeling job, they want to do some sort of jockey on a horse, wants to lose weight, doesn't want to put on muscle. There are people in the world who just want to do that, only lose body fat. They don't want to put on any muscle because then they're back to where they were. Their weight, their actual body weight is important to them, or that they just think they're too fat. I don't want to be the exact same size, fit into the exact same clothes with less fat and more muscle. I want to be a size 6 instead of a size 8, or a size 14 instead of a size 16, and if I lose the right amount of fat but put on the muscle, I'm still in the same size clothes. Makes sense to me, I understand. And you want to lose weight, which means it's going to take a lot of time, but it doesn't mean it's not going to happen, and you're still going to enjoy it. You're still going to have a great time. So the next person is the person who wants to alter their body by dropping the amount of body fat that they have and introduce some muscle. They're the sculptors. They're the person who wants to get that beautiful beach body. They're toners. They used to be called toners in my day. I'm 60. I've been training now for 45 years. We used to call people who were doing that, oh, they're just toning in the gym. Nowadays you mention toning and people think you're trying to get a suntan. So if they're using the broom, they would sweep really fast. Sweeping, running with the broom. Alright? They would spend a quarter of the amount of time to burn the same amount of fat as the person who's just trying to lose the body fat. It would take them a quarter of the time, and they'd probably sweep a lot more floor, but they are going to put on muscle because they're working hard, they're sweeping. Alright, the person who's just pushing the broom, they don't need any muscle to do that. The person who's working really hard, they're going to need some cardio, the body's going to get them fitter, they're going to need some muscle for working that broom, so they're going to get fitter. So then you have the last person is the bodybuilder. If he was to try and put on muscle by sweeping the floor, pretty much the only way he could do it would be to have a really, really heavy broom. So the broom was heavy, just picking it up and sweeping, and then he would only be able to sweep maybe for 3 minutes and then have to stop because it got too heavy and he had to rest. So that's just sweeping, and by changing the way you sweep or the weight of the broom to get different results out of your body from doing it. Now, I don't think anybody's actually going to try and lose weight just by sweeping the floor, unless that's what they did for a living. But it was just an example how the body will change just doing the same activity. By altering the activity slightly, you will change how the body adapts to that. So today we're going to do back. And one of the great back moves is a bent over row. So you want to bend your knees slightly. You want to come over so that you're still slightly upright but not fully over. And your bar just outside of shoulder width, and you want to bring it up to the chest and down. So let's start with our first person. Our first person only wants to burn body fat. They don't want to put on muscle. Don't bend your legs, because as soon as you start bending your legs, those muscles are working. You're going to burn more fat by bending them, but your legs are going to adapt and get more muscular. You don't want more muscular legs because you want to be stick thin to be a supermodel. Understand that completely. Don't bend your legs. That bar's too heavy. You want something like this. It weighs virtually nothing. You want to bend over, and then you just want to do that as long as you can. Sorry, you're doing straight legs. As long as you can. Now, I'm not the fittest guy in the world, but I reckon I could do that for quite some time. So it's going to take you a lot of time, but you're at the gym, you're with other people you know, and you can have a chat. You can do something at the gym that will burn fat and not gain muscle. So you don't just have to diet. There's something you can do. You can go to the gym, you can burn body fat, not put on muscle, talk to your friends, have a good time. You don't need to be excluded. Next person is our sculptor, is our toner, is the person who wants to get some definition. They want to reduce the amount of body fat they have, they want to put on a little bit of muscle. So this is no good for them. They may not be very strong, so they'll have a lighter bar. You want to bend your legs. You want to put the bar out slightly over shoulder width, and you want to bring it up here. And again, if you've watched the other two videos before this, you're aiming for 30. If you get to 30 and it's like, oh yeah, you know, I don't feel like I've done anything, then your bar was too light. You get yourself a heavier bar, and the same thing. The bent knees, and you get to 30 and it was still too easy. Then you want to put some weights on. Start with little ones. Always use collars, guys. Always. There you are, body sculpting. You want to burn body fat, you want to put on a little bit of muscle, and off you go. Woo, woo, yeah, 10, 11, 12, woo, woo, couldn't do another one. It was too heavy. 30's your number. So the bar was too heavy, the weights were too heavy, whatever it is, you need to reduce it so that you can get to your 30 mark. If you go over 30, you need to increase the weight. If you go under 30, you need to decrease the weight. That's our sculptors, guys. Our people want to put that great bikini body. Some muscle, very little fat. Then we got the big man, wants to be the big bodybuilder, still wants to work out with his wife. So they're doing rows together. Now he wants to put on weight. So whatever this is, it doesn't matter. He's down here in the same position. He'll put a little bit more bend in his knees because he might as well work his legs at the same time, right? And you want to come up your legs here, like that, looking up. Don't look down, bad move. Look up, be proud of what you're doing.
How do you know when
he gets to 10, sorry.
How do you know when your knees are bent enough?
You'll feel it burning. When they give way and you've only done 8 and you wanted to do 10, then it's too bent. But if your legs are really strong and you can go right down here, then that's too far because the bar gets in the way. So there's a sweet spot there.
Okay.
But you might as well work those legs at the same time. Doing this and bending over like that, it's actually a good morning exercise, they call this. It was huge in Arnold's day. Today you'll never see it in the gym. Really bad for your lower back. But that's good morning. As soon as you bend your knees, you get your spine in the right position so you don't dislocate any discs, which is why the bent knee.
Excellent, thank you.
You got to 8 and you couldn't do any more, possibly too heavy, reduce the weight a little bit, you got to 10 and you could have done another 60, it's way too light. Stop at your 10, put your more weight on and go again. And he wants to do 3 lots of 10, 30. So he's bending his knees, grabbing the bar nice and wide, he's looking up, we're bringing it up to the chest and back down. There we go. That's our bodybuilder. So I don't think there's any more questions. That was pretty straightforward. If you've watched our other 2 videos, you can see we're following a system here, and the system is very, very simple once you're getting the hang of it. I don't want to start repeating myself to the point where nobody wants to watch any more videos. That was our bend over row. That's our 3rd move. Everybody at the beginner stage should be doing it in gym. Is your bend over row. This is your back. It does your legs. It does your core. It's doing everything. It's a great move. Really is, guys. Make sure you do it. So until next time, lift weights, live life. It's been a pleasure.